Okay, so whenever I do work on one of my websites, I like to open up two tabs. So the first tab is going to be the website itself, which in our case is just going to be the coming soon sign. Then I like to open up another tab, which is the back office, which, if you will recall, is the domain name followed by /WP admin. And I logged out last time just to show you what you can expect the first time you work on it, which is this box right here. You put in your chosen username. In our case, it's administrator. And then you put in the password that you chose when we set it up using Mojo Marketplace. And I'm going to do that. Okay, now we're back in our back office. Now, first thing you want to do is familiarize yourself with the back office. This is the home section where it says Welcome to WordPress. This is post. Now, when you hover over it, you're going to get a series of choices. You can see all posts. And right now, WordPress has one post built in which just says Hello World. If I were to view it, it's going to just show, well, actually it says that page can't be found because we haven't set up the WordPress yet. But basically it just says this is another WordPress website. So we're going to trash it. Okay. Here they're trying to sell you items that they think you need. We're going to be using different items. And it shows here it has a coming soon page. When we're ready to launch, we can just press click here. We're not going to do that just yet. So as you do posts, I should tell you just briefly, WordPress was originally set up as a blogging platform, and it's gone on to fulfill the needs of webmasters who use it for websites, to produce websites and to base their businesses on. But it still has some of its blogging roots, and one of them is that every time you create a post, it automatically presents the most recent post up at top, and the post before it and the posts before it, the ones that you did in prior days, get pushed down underneath, sort of like an online diary, which is what blogging originally was, I guess. So it still does things that way. We can change things around. We're going to make some changes, as you'll see. Next tab is media. This is very important. It shows here that you can start a media library, which is a series of videos, and mostly it's going to be JPEGs and PNGs, pictures that we're going to find from the internet that we have the right to use, and we're going to be inserting into our posts and pages if we need to. Next we have pages, and you hover over it, it says all pages or add new. When we hover over all pages, you'll see that WordPress has a sample page. We're going to trash that. We're going to create our own pages. Now pages are different from posts because they have a permanent position on the website. They don't get pushed down out of view like posts do. And you'll see that as I show you as we set up the website where pages fit in. Comments, as you produce posts, you're going to get some comments. There used to be all kinds of software that you could use to tune out spam comments, because a lot of comments are just used for spam. Uh, we're just basically going to ignore all the spammy comments. WordPress forms, we're not going to be interested in that. Now, appearance, that we are definitely going to be interested in. You see when you hover over it that it shows themes. Now, themes are the layout of your website, what your website is going to look like to the outside world. There are all different kinds of themes. One of the important reasons that we're using WordPress is because since WordPress is so well known, it is an open invitation for the entire world to come up with free additions in the form of themes and also plugins, which we're going to show next. That enhance the value of WordPress as a platform and enhance your ability to make changes to your website and to use your website. There are a million themes. Most of them are free. We're going to go over them after we review the rest of the panel. Next is plugins. As I mentioned before, plugins are also mostly free. There are many paid plugins as well, but there's a wide variety of free plugins that are basically software programs that help you administer your website. Next is users. When we hit all users, you'll see that the only user that's originally built in is me. And then we have tools. There are available tools are, well, I don't know, various things that they're trying to sell us. We're not going to be too interested in that. Tools may be filled in depending on the plugins that we use. Settings are also very important. When you hover over it, these are the general writing, reading settings. I'm just going to show you briefly why that's important. If we hit general settings, you'll see that we can control the title of the website and a tagline. Right now it just says just another WordPress site, but we are going to be putting in a tagline that we can use to help market our website. We have the website URL, which is prepperhero.com. The site address is the same. Right now we have the default email address that I put in when we originally set it up, which is going to be changed to the email address for prepperhero.com that we had just set up in the previous video. So I'm going to erase the email address that is the default, and I'm going to put in mail at prepperhero.com. Anyone can be a member. Time zone. Well, time zone, I don't recall offhand how you have to make the adjustment, but if you go on Google and type in UTC, I believe it's Greenwich time, you have to, you see Greenwich time plus 0, it's set to Greenwich time. You have to add or subtract a number representing the number of hours that brings you from Greenwich time into your time zone. I can do that later when I figure it out, frankly. Okay, so this is the date format and the time format. A week starts on Monday, and the rest of it is rather technical. So we save the changes, the one change that we made. One thing that you have to remember is any work that you do on a WordPress website or really anything on the internet, you have to remember to save your changes or you're going to lose them. One thing that it took me forever to learn is that if you make a bunch of changes in WordPress and then you just leave the page, they have generally a warning flag that comes up asking, are you sure you want to leave the page? And before I really knew what I was doing, I would say, yes, of course I want to leave the page, not realizing that unless you hit Save Changes, everything that you've done to change that page is going to be lost. So remember, anytime you make changes, you always hit Save Changes. Okay, OptiMonster, we're not going to be interested in for the time being. All right, so that's a brief overview of the control panel, and we're going to start doing the real work of building our website in the next video. So I will see you then.